Guatemala is located in Central America, bordered by Mexico, Belize, the Caribbean Sea, Honduras, El Salvador, and the Pacific Ocean. Guatemala, in a Mayan dialect, means the land of forests. About 60% of the population is Catholic, about 40% are Protestant, and the rest are typically Mayan religious beliefs. For the main holidays celebrated in Guatemala are Christmas, Easter, Guatemalan Independence Day, and Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. The health system and practices are very similar to what they are here in the US. We have doctors and hospitals, although the doctors may operate their businesses out of their actual homes. There's not too much that's different, except for one main thing being that you can go as a citizen, go to a pharmacist, and you can tell them what symptoms you're experiencing, and they can actually prescribe you a medication without even having to go to the doctor. They can prescribe it to you, they can fill it, and they can give it to you all right then and there. Guatemalan food and cuisine is a very, very important part of their culture. The traditional cuisine comes from Spanish and Mayan dishes and their culture. Beans and corn are two of the most used ingredients in Guatemalan dishes. The corn is typically used to make tortillas, which are then served wrapped in a cloth. Um, a lot of soups and stews, different kinds of rice, black beans. Those are also some things that are served in many of the Guatemalan dishes. Guatemalans eat 3 meals a day typically, with dinner being their lightest and lunch being their heaviest meals of the day. For lunch, they usually have some type of meat, vegetables, just a whole. Our typical dinner would be a Guatemalan typical lunch, in the amount of foods that we eat. Um, Lunch is very important in Guatemala, so a lot of businesses actually close for around 2 hours to give their employees and the people a chance to go home or go somewhere else to eat lunch. Um, in each family, there's usually a specific type of dish that is served for birthdays, holidays, and special occasions. Specifically for Dia de los Muertos, there's a dish called fiambre that is served, and fiambre is basically a cold salad-like dish that consists of vegetables and meats. For Dia de los Muertos, you then take the dish, and you and your family go and basically have a picnic at the site or sites in which your loved ones, family, and friends are resting. And here in America, we have food types from all other countries. We are the melting pot of the world. So we have different cultures and different cultural dishes that have all come from other countries into America. But Americans, we like to add our own twist on things, typically adding the food to be some sort of a fast food type, easily accessible, easily to make. When we do that, we tend to make our dishes greasy, fatty, sugary, all those kinds of things, very processed. Um, but we eat 3 meals a day just like Guatemalans, but we also snack a lot, which is one of the reasons, on top of the fatty and oily foods, that we have a huge number of people who have diseases like heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. Um, Guatemalans don't really have a direct influence on our diets, at least not anymore. We do have restaurants and dishes that come from Guatemalan cultures, but most of our popular food that comes from Central America is actually Mexican food, like tacos and beans and rice. And while those are also things that are eaten in Guatemala, we typically think of those, we say, hey, let's go get some Mexican food tonight. Hi, my name is Amanda, and I'm here with my boyfriend's mom, Jenny. And today we're going to be talking about a little bit about her culture and about a dish called pepian.
Hi, my name is Jenny, as Mandy said. I was born in Guatemala, and I lived there for about 17 years. But in those 17 years, I kept coming back and forth. to learn English and to know the culture. My dad used to work here, and he used to bring us here every so many years. We finally moved here for good when I was 17, and I've been here since then, 30 years later. My English has gotten much, much better since then. It's pretty cool. But today we are going to make a dish that we eat in Guatemala, and we eat this on a ongoing basis. And now here in America, this is a dish that is asked of my mom for our birthdays. That's the dinner. My mom makes dinners for all of our birthdays, Guatemalan dinners, and she usually makes pepián for my husband. He likes that, and Mandy likes that. And I think that's why she chose this dish. So it's a Guatemalan dish, and it's kind of like you can put beef or chicken, or I have made it also with tofu now, since I have discovered tofu. There was no tofu in Guatemala back then, and I don't think there is still to this day. Pork and whatever kind of meat, and then you just mix it with the sauce, and it's like a stew, and it's delicious, and I hope you enjoy it. And that's what we're gonna make today, pepián from Guatemala.
So without further ado, here is how you make pepián.
So how is pepián made? Pepián is meal, sort of like a stew that Guatemalans eat, and it's a food that we eat on a monthly basis or maybe even weekly, and it's popular for birthdays. So the ingredients are sesame seeds, 4 ounces of sesame seeds, 1 dry chile guaque, a dry chile pasa, half a cup of roasted pumpkin seeds, a large can, like this can, of tomato puree, black pepper to taste, half a tablet of pure cocoa chocolate, which is a Guatemalan chocolate, and half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. All of these ingredients have to be roasted and dry, of course. Once we have all of that ready, we blend them. And once they're blended, then we have to strain them, because sometimes there's seeds and pieces that do not blend together. Once all of that is together, we fried it with a little butter for about 30 minutes, and we add the chicken. For the chicken, we cook it and boil it pretty much, just plain boil it in chicken broth, a couple of cans of chicken broth. And one more ingredient is breadcrumbs for the sauce. That's another thing. So we boil the chicken for about 20 minutes, and once it's boiled, then we have we just put the sauce that we made and let it what is this called, reduce for about 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And then this meal is eaten with rice, either white rice or brown rice. Today we made brown rice, and it's garnished with just cilantro, like pieces of or strings of cilantro, and that's it.
So once everything is made, all the ingredients are put together, it's time to serve the dish. So we'll start with our nice red bowl, and we'll add some of our brown rice. And then we'll take the boiled chicken and the pepián sauce that we made earlier, still nice and warm, boiling a little bit. Some more sauce, which is the best part to make everything nice and moist and delicious to eat. And then once that's all put together, we'll take some cilantro and we'll just put some on the top. And there we have it, our nice pepián.